Johnny from Johnny's Vintage Motorcycle. We're starting to clean out some storage spaces, and I've had this 71 H1 for some time now. As you can see, it's kind of a chopper. Got a long front end, sissy bar. Somebody painted the cylinders black and stuff. I know a little bit of history about the bike. We got it from one of our friends that owns a shop. We rebuilt the crankshaft years ago. They put the motor together, but whatever reason, it was a dead-end project. He didn't finish the bike up or whatever, but I kind of want to go over some stuff on it, and we're going to talk about maybe we're for sure going to get it running, and maybe we're going to sell it as is. Maybe we're going to fix it up a little bit, but we're definitely getting rid of that front end, and we're definitely getting rid of this. So if we on this side of the bike here, we're missing the door here for the battery. We're missing the side cover. We're missing the foot peg rubbers. We're missing the sprocket cover, the shifter, the stuff, the part that goes on the shaft here. We're missing an air box. Missing the gas tank bolts. We make some of this stuff, so we're gonna try to get her going. This is kind of gooned here. They got screws instead of the normal foot pegs that come in there. The seat's actually pretty nice. I like the seat. If you come around the back, the rear fender is pretty cool. Let's open up this and see where we're at. This looks pretty cool. Looks like someone painted the pan, but doesn't look all rotted out. Usually the pans rot out on the left side because you have the side stand down and the water gets trapped in here and it's got nowhere to go, so usually they rot out right here. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's missing a screen that goes over here. I'm not positive. We've got the oil gauge right here on the side. That looks pretty good. Still got the basic gray cables. We're missing this bolt right here. I may have some decent paint to put on it. Obviously they painted this black. They got NGK caps. From what I can see, this was a gray cable here at one time. It still is kind of gray, but they got extended cables on it. These cables here, the upper looks to be stock because we have the lettering here. Usually your Kawasaki cables, if you come to this side, it says 54012-054. Not sure if that's a genuine cable or not, but I think what they did was they used these and they used the different ends on them. But all these cables are long. This cable here for the speedo is long. The brake cable is long. Got a little bit of goon marks right here. Looks like the meters are kind of sloppy. We're going to try to fix this one meter and put another meter on it. I have all these bolts. The handlebar bushings look kind of weaked out, but it does have the original lever perch. Notice they come down at an angle like that, and they have the star adjuster. So this is pretty cool stuff. Got the original switches and stuff. I think we have a bike here that has a lot of potential. Doesn't look like it's really ever been in a major accident. I see some scratches here in the distributor cover. This is cracked. Looks like they did some reinforcing on the center stand right here. But overall, a lot of potential. A lot of potential. So we're going to try to get it fired up today and hear it run, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later then. Okay, we've got a little progress here on the motorcycle. Get rid of the long cables that were on it. This is one of our bars here on the back. So we got rid of that horrible sissy bar. Actually, I gave it to the guy that works for me. And got the original bolts here. This is original from the factory. This is all genuine Kawasaki hardware. So we got that all set up. We've got a set of stock fork tubes we're gonna put on it tomorrow. We got rid of a bunch of hokey hardware. We got a foot peg on here instead of the stud they had. And we're going to put a different fork tube assembly on it with new seals and what have you. So we'll have more progress, and also we have one speedometer for it. As I showed you earlier, the speedometer it's on, it's kind of hokey. The speedometer cable that I took off the motorcycle was broken. So this will be the speedometer that we put on it. I've not checked it yet, but it looks pretty good. So we're going to put that on it. And then over here in the drain plugs here, or the drain pan, you can see the fork tubes. We're kind of robbing a bunch of stuff because for whatever reason, one of the fork springs was busted or cut or something. So, and this is going to be the lower legs that we use right here. Here's one of them. The dampening rods are this one's in good shape. And we're going to put new H1 Kawasaki fork seals. And the rubbers don't appear to be too bad, so we're going to reuse these. On the early H1s, like 69 through like 72 H1C, this is where the fork seal goes. Seal goes in here. Then it gets screwed on to here. So pretty unique design. Now we're going to clean all this out of here. We're going to chase these threads, clean up all this little bit of rust and what have you. And we're going to clean up these bolts a little bit. So we'll have this front end together, and hopefully we'll take it for a test drive tomorrow if it's not snowing too much. As we proceed, we're installing new steering bearings. We've got the front end off. We've got Jake here cleaning up the lower clamp and stuff. They got overspray on everything when they're painting the motorcycle. So let's see this clamp here. We're getting ready to. The clamp looks good, so we're gonna put this all back on. However, we have all brand new genuine Kawasaki balls and races for the forks, so we're gonna have that on there. This is the original front fender as far as we know. It came off the bike. Pretty nice shape. A little bit looks like it went down at one time, little crease here. We might try to do a little bit of something with this right here. This is a stainless steel. Now we go to the body parts. It had a black gas tank on it when I first got it. I found an original paint body parts for it. I think we're going to put this tank on. We're going to clean it up a little bit. We do have a little crease here from looks like it's been an accident or something, but this is not from this motorcycle that we're working on. This is just a tank I had laying around. Got a couple of side covers here. I don't know which one we're gonna put on for sure. Looks like they both came off a motorcycle one time, maybe with some rash from the concrete. So I don't know which one we're gonna use. Then we have an oil tank. Oil tank looks pretty good. Of course, we're gonna clean it out and stuff. Got a nice banjo bolt on it and everything. Gauge looks pretty good. See the line? It tells you how much oil you have. As you put the oil in it, the gauge comes up. It's got a nice decal right here. Okay. As you saw, when we first looked at the bike, it had extended forks. So we've come up with a couple cables. And I've got a box of cables here that we've been saving all this time. It's all nice old gray cables for H1s. So if you come over here, you can see Jimmy's just put a race in here. This is an upper steering race, and it's going to have all genuine Kawasaki balls put in it. And if you come down here, this is the steering dampener and everything like that. So we're going to replace all that. We're not going to replace, we're going to service all that. And it's got the low handlebars on it, so we're going to try to restore this bike with all unrestored parts. And we have a speedometer for it, as we showed you earlier. So we're looking pretty good here, and we'll show you some more progress a little bit later on this afternoon. Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, what a difference a couple hours makes. We started out here. These are the bolts that we make here at the shop for the handlebars. Then we detailed the race we put new bearings in it, new races, detailed the race shield here, cleaned this all up a little bit, and we installed a front brake cable. Seems to be working pretty good now. And we put another speedo cable on it that we had laying in the back. And now we have the fork tubes on, which looks pretty good. Now we're down to the stock length. So we're moving on slowly but surely. We make these bolts here, so we replace the bolts that are kind of cruddy. So we'll have some more details on this, and we'll keep her going. But just to look at what we've done so far, it takes a lot to do one of these. You got to have a lot of parts in stock if you're going to do it, or have a lot of extras. If you come to this side, you can see how nice this all looks with the cables, and the front brake here is nice and functional now. We got to adjust it a little bit, but we've got the front brake cable, or the speedo cable here. We cleaned all the stuff up, had a lot of black overspray on some of the stuff. So we're almost done with the front end, and put new fork seals in it, of course, new fork oil. So this should be pretty good. So
back again on this H1, and had the clutch, a little bit of a clutch issue. What was going on with it was really hard to pull the clutch in, and it was almost like the pressure plate here was stuck to the clutch. So we took it off to kind of look at it. Seems to be okay. It was stuck to here a little bit. As they sit for a while, they stick. So we had to free that up. We're also going to free this worm gear up here that activates the push rod that pushes the clutch plate out to help the clutch work a little bit better. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So we get it all back together. We'll see how the clutch works. Like I said, we still got to clean the carburetors yet, something like that, and get it running. But other than that, that's where we're at. We got the clutch working good. You can see we squeeze it in now, and it works real nice. And we're off to clean the carburetors now. You can see how bad the float bowls are in it. You know, just the gas really does a number on them when it goes bad and been sitting for years. It's the same way with this. So we're going to clean all this up and try to bring it all back to life. And then when we get it all done, we'll show you another view of what they look like when we're done.
Okay, here we are with the carburetors apart. We just got them done cleaning them. We have an ultrasonic tank that cleans this and gets all the crap out. Just to show you some things that are happening, being that the motorcycle is like 40 years old. If you go here, you can see they were using this here as a float pin. Okay, fortunately we had some new old stock Kawasaki float pins to replace those. If you notice real close here, these were actually needles that go on the slide. So that was kind of a homemade thing. Kind of thought everybody get a kick out of that. So here we have the float bowls. He's got all the garbage out of them. The gaskets seem like they're okay. These are the needles that go in the needle and seat. What happens here is they go inside here, and it's kind of like a toilet. This closes the gas flow coming in, the carburetor right here. So I'm pressing up and down on that right there, it's spring loaded. Okay, the float actually goes in like so, and this is where the float pin comes in. You've got a hole right here, and then the pin goes through here, and the pin actually goes through this body right here. A lot of times people knock these pins out and they'll bust these tabs, and it kind of ruins the carburetor. But that's how that goes, just like that, and the float goes inside there like that. So anyway, that's our setup there. This all looks pretty good. Now what I usually do is I like, since these are made out of brass, sometimes they can get small holes in them, especially after they've been sitting, or people will bend them in so they don't work. I always like to take and put these in a jar of gasoline to see if they're going to sink or not. If they sink, that means we either got to solder them or replace them. I'd rather replace them, it's easier for me. Okay, and these are, it looks like someone has already put these are the plungers for the choke cable. The choke cable goes inside there like that, and they go on the other side of the carburetors inside right here. This is for the choke. It cuts off the air going into them. So this is the spring for it, and these are the cable goes through here. It's always nice to have these boots on So someone's been in these carburetors before we got to it. As we said before, the motor has a brand new rebuilt crankshaft in it, as well as it has new pistons and stuff in it. Okay, so here's all these parts. These are the pilot jets right here. And this is, we always like to go through and we hold these up to the light to see, if we can see through them or not. You have to clean them and make sure you see the holes. Not only do you have a hole right here, but you have these little holes right here. It's really important. All these holes have to be clear when you clean the carburetors on these H1s. And here's the needle tower here. This just gets pressed back into the carburetor right here. Then the main jet goes on the bottom. It goes inside here. These are slotted. So, and there's the gaskets seem like they're okay. The screws are okay. These are the springs for the choke cable. So this is all pretty cool. These we're going to obviously pitch. So if we go over here to the motorcycle, when Jimmy put the clutch together, he noticed that these are clutch plates here. These are some kind of racing clutch plate springs. I don't recommend these. It's hard to pull the clutch in, and it's very hard to find neutral with springs like that. It's not something that I care for a whole lot. So here is the shift linkage right here. This goes on the motor, and this goes into the shifter right here. The shifter runs on a shaft, which is held on with the washer right here, and then we have this clip. Now, because we have a lot of Kawasaki parts, we had all this stuff laying around, genuine new old stock, so we got to make sure that it's all the exact proper stuff. We're not going to replate any of this because we kind of want to leave this motorcycle unrestored with original parts. And we just so happened to had a brand new genuine Kawasaki pin right here, still in the wrapper, that connects the linkage to the shifter, just like so. This goes in the hole here, then it has a clip and a washer on the back side. So we've got all that. We're starting to make some headway now. You can see this wiring was kind of boogered here, and they kind of wrapped this together. I'm putting on genuine new old stock Kawasaki lead. Notice this is enclosed like that. Well, genuine was open like that. And this goes on the positive terminal of the battery. Okay. I've got a genuine Kawasaki fuse holder. This is not the correct one, but it is a genuine Kawasaki inline fuse holder. You got to have one of these on a bike like this. It's better to blow a fuse than have the wiring catch on fire. So anyway, we have, this is the generic fuse holder that was on the bike. And if you notice right here, we have some speaker wire. It looks like maybe old speakers years ago where we used to hook up. This is like speaker wire or something, I don't know. And the main reason why people did this was because they didn't put the proper battery in it. So if you didn't put the proper battery in it, maybe the terminals were switched, you needed the extra added length. So this is usually the reason for this. And of course, because we have a lot of parts hanging around, we found this door here for the battery, which is pretty cool. And then the fuse holder would go in here. We have the, and this is a part that's kind of strange. This is the same headlight rim as the A1, the A7, the W1. Now, we took this right here and put a little epoxy right here. This was cracked. This is a very, very hard to find light. So we put some epoxy right here, and we also tightened up the screws right here. So when we got it, it just flopped around here. Now it's a pretty nice solid mount. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Plus, it says Stanley here, and Stanley was a genuine bulb producer. You just can't go to the hardware store and buy these because they've got the plug-ins that go directly into the bulb. And this is not a replaceable bulb. However, the early ones were replaceable bulbs, but 71 was not. So we're kind of getting her all together here. Now, I'm kind of a stickler about genuine stuff. Even though Jimmy got the cable working and stuff, this is all really nice. It works well. I wanted a gray cable instead because all the other cables are gray. So this is a really, really, really good used gray cable that I had in stock for years. Actually, I had this on the shelf since 2012. So we're finally going to get around to using it. And we've got the stock length kickstand on it now. And before, if you just remember, it had the big extended tubes. So this is where we're at so far. We'll definitely keep you posted here. If you come around to the other side of the motorcycle, I'm going to take apart this rubber here off this cable. Over here, as you can see, this is the distributor cover. The cable goes through the distributor cover. This is for the tachometer. As you can see, this is all hogged out. This is a part of the tachometer cable. So I have a good used one here that we're going to take off there. As we said before, we're trying to get an unrestored motorcycle. So everything's starting to come along pretty good here together. Hopefully we'll have this going here like another day or so. And I think we're just about done with it. We have the reflectors that go here. And we're going to make a good piece. We're kind of on the fence about this is painted black and it should be the same color as the side covers here, the silver or bear. So we're going to look into that. But first we get the motorcycle running, and then then we're going to kind of cater to our needs if we decide that we want to make that uniform. Now also, if we go over here, as you can see, I put an original paint tank on here because I like original paint. The inside's perfect, but we have a dent right here, but this was not the original tank. This is a dent from a fork tube where something probably got in an accident and this little pin right here probably gave loose or something, and the stopper came over and hit it. So this is actually a fork tube dent right here from here, but it did not come stock on this bike. This is the oil tank that I came up with, original paint. Got some scratches on it and stuff, but has original decal, but no broken tabs. It's nice, very nice. It had a little bit of debris inside, so we're soaking it out and we're cleaning it up with that metal rescue. And then here is the right side cover. Now the bike didn't come with the side cover, so we came up with this one, and this is going to be the cover that we use. This is really good shape. The knob is cracked a little bit, but I think I like that. It's going to add to the patina of the bike. So we'll keep it. Okay, we've made some more progress on this today. We've got the battery in it. We have genuine wire leads. We got a new inline fuse. So that's looking pretty good. We got all the covers on it. We got the shifter set up. That's all set up with the linkage. The carbs are ready to go. We got a few clamps. These are new old stock L-shaped rubber grommets that go over here that hold the side cover on, like so. Okay, we're ready for the door. Check out the old vintage spark plugs and the old wrapper here. These are pretty cool. These are actually called surface gap plugs. And you're gonna get a kick out of this. This is nice. This is genuine for the Kawasaki, the early triples and the two strokes, some of them. If you look at it here, instead of being like a regular spark plug, it'll have, I shouldn't do this in front of my kid. Boy, it's on there. Okay, the plastic is on there, but if you notice, there's no gap. They call it a surface gap. This is on there. I would show you a little better. Here we go. Okay, surface gap. Normally they have the electrode and it goes over. So that's a surface gap plug, and it's a really cool box. I probably should keep that. Okay. Then you come over here. We have the gray cable installed. This is nice, very nice. We've got the star adjuster here. That's nice. Everything's ready to go on this side. We're gonna take a test drive tomorrow. If we come around this side of the bike, you'll notice on the floor here, that's the black tank that came off the bike. It was a nice black paint job that was on here, but I wanted original paint. You can see the blue right here. So this bike used to be a blue bike originally. So that's the original oil tank. Come over here, most of the side covers we put new old stock screws on. Got some scratches here, got a little crack here, but it's all good for right now. We're gonna come up with some more stuff. And this is what the original paint oil tank's gonna look like on here. Very cool, very cool. This is going to be a nice unrestored everyday rider. This is the high beam indicator bulb socket assembly that goes inside here. Well, actually goes inside the bucket, but it comes off here. So we're looking pretty good. The side cover is going to be nice, nice added touch. Got some scratches, but it'll be cool. Got the gray cables, everything's hooked up. So if it's not freezing rain or snowing outside tomorrow, we're going to take it for a test drive and see how it does. I hope you like our bike. Thanks. Our 71 H1 used to be a chopper, but now it's pretty stock. We're putting original paint on it and everything. Jimmy's going to fire it up here and make sure it runs through the gears and everything. Runs on all 3 cylinders. Okay, Jimmy, fire it up. We're gonna take her inside. We're gonna do some adjustments to it. We'll take some pictures later on today with all the original paint body parts on it. Okay, we're continuing on H1. The bike appears to run really, really well. So we decided that since the tires were so bad, we were going to put some tires on it just to make it safe because they're all dry rotted. So we're going to replace the rim band. We always like to replace these because you see the spoke indentations here and it's starting to rot here a little bit. I mean, we could probably go like this and probably break it. So we're going to change that. The tube we're going to replace because of the fact that it's got a little bit of rust on it, plus we've got some creases in it also where it laid in the rim. So now is the time to change the tube. So we're going to change the tube on it. And then here's the tire that came off of it. Not only was the tread all gone, it's starting to dry rot all over the place. And it's on the side. And this is an old Dunlop tire made in Great Britain actually, but there's all the dry rotting right here. So we really didn't think that was safe. So what we're going to do now is we got a tire called a Duro tire. Okay, we're going to put this Duro tire on. This is about the stock size, the 418. And we're going to also, these early bikes had rim locks on them. These little rim locks are made by Dunlop actually years ago. So we're going to put the Dunlop rim locks back in. It takes 2 of them. And looks like someone at one time had painted the inside of the rim, which is a good idea. We used to do it on the Harleys a long time ago, but someone painted the inside to keep it from rusting. So we're going to put this on and get her going. The brake surface was nice. The bearings seem like they're perfect. So we're going to leave well enough alone on that one. Now we're gonna go back over to the motorcycle. We're gonna go over a few things more on it. We got the seat on it, the side covers. We're starting to go through the stuff in the back here. We had some things that had some paint on them, and this stuff is getting kind of crusty, but it kind of blends in with the balance of the bike. We're on the fence on doing something with that, but we're gonna. This is the pin out of the brake and stuff, so we're gonna. Someone shot this with black paint, so we're gonna take all the grease off and take all the paint off, and then we're gonna put it all together like that. The chain adjuster that was on had some paint on it, and for whatever reason, back in the day, they all wanted to paint the frame and stuff without removing body parts, which is something I'm kind of allergic to, but we're gonna try to come up with a set of baffles for it. As you can see here, it's missing the baffles. And when you come over to here, this is all intact pretty good. So we're gonna kind of let all this go. We now have a nice left side cover. The seat's kind of gooned right here, but we're gonna leave that go because we're looking for the restored original look. And like I say, these aren't the original body parts on it, but they're what we're going with. And also over here, we have a nice soft pliable air box inlet there, and then we have the air box over here. That we found all these parts from different places and stuff that we had laying around. So got the reflectors, and if you listen real close, you can hear the ignition's working, hear the buzz. So if it stops raining out today, or rain, snow, whatever, we're gonna take it for a ride up and down the road. You can take a look at it. And thanks a lot. All right, it's finally done, we think. We're gonna go for the test drive. Can't say enough about what we did here. This was a chopper, as you saw before. At the start, we put a new front tire on it, different fork tubes, fork seals, all gray cables, all the adjusters. We found some used reflectors, some gas tank bolts. Got an air box on it now, complete. Foot peg rubbers. Back here you can see the genuine exhaust baffles in there with the triangles in them. Seat's nice. Got a little couple marks on the seat, as you can see over here. There's a few marks. Underneath the seat, we found the guard with the original decal, the clips that hold it onto the frame. The bike had a bunch of overspray on it. We took care of a lot of stuff. It's got all the original bolts as far as we know on the fender and stuff. Put all new screws. We changed the clutch plate springs. All the oil's changed. Carburetors are done. I mean, all in all, this is a pretty good bike here. We rebuilt the carburetors. We did the petcock. Nice bike. Let's see if we can get her to start. It's really cold out. You can hear the buzzer. I always like to try to start them on the side. This is the choke here on the left. Well, anyway, start running on the center cylinder. So we're going to try to figure out why here in a second. So you never know. Okay, we put our spark plug in it. Start it up again and see what happened. Okay, we're testing the ignition, but we have no spark on the center cylinder. So we're going to try to figure out why. We're going to get up in the air and see what's happening. I don't know if it's the ignition or the spark plug cap or something, but we're going to try to figure it out here and see where we're at. I think we got her fixed now. It turned out to be a spark plug cap. So, and the wire was loose down here on the distributor cap rotor, or the distributor cap itself. Okay, let's fire it up. See what it sounds like. There's that buzzer.